Pumpkin round 2. For our second trial, I got back some awesome comments from Facebook and TikTok. But this is the one I'm going with. And this one. Same thing. Alright then.
Remember last time we dropped it off the roof, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to it this time.
Turns out getting this thing around the pumpkin is incredibly difficult. Going to have to make a chip right here where it's already broken. Just do this. Hopefully. That. Whoa! And it broke! It's gonna be harder than I thought. It's working. Kind of. And then a second knife here. There we go. There we go! I might need 2 more, honestly. Okay, this is the only way I can think of doing this. Can't really do it with this one. Need like a really bendy one. Okay, there we go. It is technically working. Put it here. First rubber band. Well, there was a lot that broke beforehand, but get what I mean. So, it worked, kind of. I guess I'll have to try doing this. So this is me putting rubber bands on a pumpkin. I think I can only use really the really stringy ones. There's 2. Oh, fudge. This is definitely a difficult one to pull off, for sure. I put it down on the table, but as you can see, it's just shaking. It shakes very easily. Keep snapping! Making me mad! How am I supposed to do this? I need a smaller pumpkin to do something like this. I mean, this pumpkin's too big to really be affected by rubber bands. Not the best. I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying. I don't know how this is going to smash the pumpkin, but maybe you all know something that I don't. I'm going to stand up a little bit. A lot of them are like breaking apart. I don't even know how many are on there. With the last one, I really wasn't expecting the pumpkin to not smash when it hit the ground. And with this one, I really was expecting the rubber bands to be able to go around the pumpkin at least a little bit, but they are breaking for the most part. They do not like being on these knives at all. There it went. It's like what's happening with the majority of these. Like, I can't put it down here. It's too big. You know, this pumpkin's too big to be putting rubber bands on. I think it's safe to say that breaking rubber bands is the most difficult problem with this. Luckily, I've got a ton of rubber bands. I don't know what I'm going to do with these afterwards. One thing about this is your hands get really clammy from the rubber bands. And I have to constantly go over to the sink to wipe them off. I am really hoping these knives don't come flying out of this thing. I don't think they will. I don't think that is physically possible, but it does scare me. But I'm a risk taker, I guess. I really don't know any other way of doing this either, like, if we're talking about, and that was what was stipulated in the comment, rubber bands. So I don't know of any other way I could have done this. So I added another knife to this. I'm hoping it doesn't become just this huge slingshot. It's making me a little nervous, all these rubber bands around these knives, but I don't think anything could happen. Well, it's gonna look interesting, that's for sure. Can't say it's not gonna look interesting. Alright, so the problem we're running into is that this knife is starting to break loose, and all these knives are going to go flying around everywhere. So there's a chance this is going to be the one that kills me this episode. So you can see how this knife, see how it's like bending back? It's about ready to come loose. So we're just gonna, I'm gonna have to remove it. Okay, so this is really dangerous. It's actually bending the knife here. I'm gonna just carefully out slicing my hand open. Okay. It's good. Look at that. The knife has become bent from the sheer force of the rubber bands, and now this one is coming loose too. So we are going to carefully remove this one. I think the rubber bands are not causing really any damage to the pumpkins. In fact, the knives cutting into them are really doing more. We could continue this, but I don't think it's really working. So I don't know. Well, let's see how far we can go, I guess. Whoa! Okay, it just, a whole bunch of them just snapped. A whole bunch of them. It is not liking this at all. I will say the other knives are doing okay. I have to ask myself whether or not I want to ruin all of the knives. Maybe we can make this really cool, though. We could cause all of these rubber bands to come flying loose. So, yeah, I guess I could try evenly distributing them so we get something that's like climbing up the rubber bands. That could work. Still gonna have to make a bridge going up like it's like a wall of rubber bands. That might possibly work. This is a very odd plan that whoa! Okay. Yeah, you see this one's coming out too now. This one's coming out too now, so we're just gonna let it happen before it, whoa! Okay. This might be the end, folks. Gonna have to remove this one. Keep my fingers away from the knife. Whew. Okay, everybody. I don't have any choice. I'm gonna have to remove the knives. This whole thing is about ready to just slingshot knives everywhere. So very carefully, we're gonna have to remove the knives. Okay. Very carefully. Oh. All right. 3 down. You know, this video I didn't realize was going to be so dangerous, but I think this has gone down in history as the most dangerous video we've ever done. Very carefully. Okay, it's good. All right, let's get these knives out of the way. So I'm afraid that didn't work either. The pumpkin is mostly unharmed except a few knife cuts here. But something to note about these rubber bands, they're all different sizes and dexterities, and none of them would go around this thing. It's just too big. But tell me what you think should happen in trial number 3. I'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these rubber bands. Just so many rubber bands.